goes to they were confused that all types of family houses will be acknowledged and accepted because they could show women in different circumstances. Mm, mm, Sorry, rather than seeing the above changes in a positive limelight, many commentators have seen them as a threat to families and the institution of marriage. Kanul concludes that such scapegoating of lesbian and the gays is used to disguise the increasingly frequent departures from the norms of the family life by the heterosexual. Such scapegoating of the lesbians and the gays. Current process scapegoating of the lesbians and the gays is used to disguise the increasingly frequent departures from the norms of the family life by the heterosexuals. She says, claiming that gay and lesbian families are should be distinctly queer and distinctly deviant helps conceal the deviancy in the heterosexual families. Gay and lesbian families are distinctly queer or distinctively deviant helps conceal the deviancy in the heterosexual families and thereby helps to sustain the illusion that heterosexuals are specifically entitled to access to a protected private sphere because they, unlike their gay and lesbian, are supporters of the family. Okay. Mm. Thus, the ideology of the heterosexual family, the ideology of Hi, Aman. Hi, 3 a.m. What are you studying? So, is sociology? Yes. So you can watch the content of my channel. Cool. Are you doing your graduation? So yes, I'm doing my masters, not graduation. I'm science studying. Okay. So I will take over. I'm preparing for other examinations. So I also study science, geography, and everything, but more focus on sociology and law. Okay. So you can subscribe my channel if you like it. What is your name? So I'm not here to reveal the name. I'll not reveal the name. What of you? Thank you, Desi Vlogs. country. So it's India only. Any tips for studying? Because all I do is just memorize the notes. Yeah, I have very good tips to study anything which you want and to learn anything which you want. You are Sriman. What is the meaning of that? Sriman. So yeah, I do have very nice tips to remember anything. I can give you a mind map where you can put all your data and remember anything and get access to your mind map anywhere and anytime and remember anything. Whatever you learn, you have to put in your mind map. You have to arrange in your mind map. That's how I study and I remember any content that I have studied. What is okay? ऐसे वाले का तो पता नहीं but I am privileged. I can say that. Because right now also I am dependent on my parents. So I'll show you the background in the evening today. I will try more science in my 12 boards this year. Okay. Okay. So you have to create your mind map. If you want to study anything, you have to create your mind map. Evening at I think yes 8:30. I'll show you my background, my society. Okay. Hi, Aman. Hi. Sorry. Bye. Bye. Thus, the ideology of the heterosexual families has played an important part in encouraging discrimination and prejudice against gays and lesbian families. To carry on, gay and lesbian relationships with or without children are not just as much family relationships as those of heterosexual couples. So, it does not believe that arguing for them to be accepted as a way legitimates the heterosexual patriarchal family that has been so criticized by the radical Marxist feminists. In the contemporary world, heterosexual families engage in multiple deviations from norms governing the family. A wide variety of behaviors and family forms have become common and widely accepted. Accepting gays and lesbians as forming families involves the acceptance of just one more variation from traditional conventional families. It has a potential benefit of reducing the anti-lesbian prejudices that has been promoted in the name of preserving the family. Can you recommend a video where there is a guide on how to make a mind map and remember stuff in order? No, so I don't know about any video. I have made a mind map on my content on myself that suits me, wherein I have created three types of forms and keep on putting data in that. So what's your subject? Tell me this. What's the subject? Business studies. Is very nice. You can create a mind map. You can create a mind map on many things like shares, securities, marketing, and all. Use of digital technology in marketing of products. Potential benefit of reducing environmental difference feminism. The feminists discussed in this section all avoid the mistakes of making sweeping generalization about the effects of the family life on women. They tend to be sensitive to the different experiences of the family life of women of different sexual orientation. So Linda Nicholson, I have to make a mind map which suits my needs and my way of studying. Yes, I will give you a mind map. If you want, I can show you how I do, how I remember my content. So, see if it's beneficial for you, and accordingly, you can customize your own mind map. Different expenses of family life of women of different sexual orientation, ethnic groups. Okay, so you want that I should show you the mind map right now or some other time? sexual orientation of the ethnic group. And classes and so on. Although each chapter does not necessarily discuss all the sources of differences that affect how families influence women's lives, in this respects, they can be seen as representing theoretical advances upon some of the Marxist and radical theories discussed earlier. However, some different feminism do sometimes lose sight of the inequalities between men and women. You can show me some other time, although I don't. Okay, no issue, no issue. Analytical to discuss earlier. However, some different families do sometimes lose sight of inequalities between men and women in families by stressing in the range of the choices upon to people when they are forming families. By stressing the different experiences of women, they tend to neglect the common experiences shared by most women in the families. Common experiences of most women families. Nevertheless, this general approach may be right to suggest that it is possible, if not common, for both men and women to develop rewarding and fulfilling family relationships. Okay. So the family is discussed in this section all about the mistakes of making sweeping generalization about the effects of the family life on women. We tend to be sensitive to the different experiences of family life of women of different sexual orientation, ethnic group, classes, and so on. Although each writer does not necessarily discuss all the social differences that affect how family influence women's lives, in this respect, they can be seen as representing theoretical advances upon some of the Marxist and radical. Okay, however, some different families do sometimes lose sight of the inequalities between men and women in family by stressing the range of choices upon to people when they are forming families. By stressing the different experiences of women, they tend to neglect the common experiences shared by most women in the families. Nevertheless, the general approach may be right to suggest that it is possible for both men and women to develop rewarding and fulfilling family relationships. The family industrialization and modernization. Industrial family. So, what was the pre-industrial family? So, before industrialization,